And then I wanted to look into Amber's other lawyers. So we have J. Ward Brown. J. Ward Brown has been representing news and entertainment companies for 3 decades. He's litigated defamation, privacy, copyright, subpoena, and access matters to the U.S. Supreme Court. So I guess defamation right there. Maybe that's bread and butter, amongst other things. Jay also regularly serves as clearance counsel for producers of documentary films and TV series. Ooh, okay, so some Hollywood stuff right here, including Oscar, Emmy, DuPont, Columbia award-winning productions, and provides legal vetting of stories for newspaper and magazine publishers. Seems like this might have been the person that she should have hired before they wrote the Washington Post op-ed. Because, Eric George was the lawyer who okayed it, and look what happened. Amber Heard got sued, and she lost. Oh, I thought this was interesting, too. I looked into this a little bit, and we're not going to get super in-depth, but I do want to look into this, though. This lawyer right here successfully defended New York Times, so again, New York Times, in an action brought by a prominent cancer researcher who headed a department at a major university who claimed that a news report about alleged problems with a research paper he authored or co-authored defamed him. The district court granted the Times motion, dismissed the complaint, and the Sixth Circuit affirmed. Jay argued for the Times in both courts. So I was like, why are they being so vague here? Is it because they didn't actually go to trial? Because they're being vague here. There was brought into action by a prominent cancer researcher who headed a department at a major university who claimed that a news report alleged problems with blah, blah, blah. So I was like, who's this person? I want to know who this is. And of course, I went to go look it up because I wanted to know what was going on with that. Let me see if I could find that one. So Amber Heard's second lawyer, appellate lawyer that she hired, did this case. Can I drag this? Okay, I thought it was interesting. So, New York Times wrote an article about a cancer researcher, I think. Yeah, a cancer researcher. But when they interviewed him, the guy didn't know what the fuck article that they were going to read about. So he probably just thought they're New York Times is interviewing me. It's going to be about my achievements and stuff like that, my accolades. But then when the article came out, it was like, this is a cancer researcher who's been criticized in the scientific community because they have accused him of lying about his research data or something like that. So I think that's what happened. But I thought this was interesting too. So in Cincinnati, award-winning cancer researcher at Ohio State University argues Thursday before a Sixth Circuit to revive his defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. Dr. Carlo Kroish, how do you pronounce that? Croce? Croce. You think it's Croce or Croce? Croce. Cross? Maybe it's Cross. I'll just say Cross. Has been involved in cancer research for over 45 years and hold numerous positions at Ohio State, including the director of human cancer genetics programs at Institutes of Genetics and the chair of blah, 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 blah. Croce? Kroich, maybe? Okay, maybe Kroich. Kroich was interviewed in 2016 by New York Times writer James Glanz, who asked him to respond to several accusations about Kroich made by members of the scientific community. Oh, maybe he did give him a heads up. I don't know. A large chunk of Glanz's article hit Kroich for his work in the 90s as an advisor to the Council of Tobacco Research, which the story said was created by tobacco companies to fight the public perception that smoking caused cancer. Anyone here grew up in the time period where you would go to a restaurant and they're like, you want the smoking section or the non-smoking section? Do you guys remember that? So crazy. That's so crazy. I like coochie too. But we'll do crotch. Glanz in the Times published an article in May 2017 under the headline, Years of Ethic Charges, but Star Cancer Researcher Gets a Pass. It contained allegations that the university cleared Kroich of several allegations of misconduct related to data fabrication to ensure it continued to receive grant money associated with the research. Damn, that is some spicy stuff. Kroich sued the New York Times and Glanz, among others, claiming the article falsely maligned his integrity and the effect of which were crushing. So they dismissed his defamation claim. But this is the article right here. Years of ethic charges, but Star Cancer Researcher Gets a Pass. Damn, this article's still away, huh? Did they ever do like a little thing at the bottom where it's like correction? Nope. They did not. Dr. Carlo Kroich is among the most prolific scientists in emerging areas of cancer research, involving which is sometimes called the dark matter of human genome. He has received more than 86 million in federal grants as a principal investigator. By his own count, more than 60 awards. With that flamboyant success has a quotient of controversy. Some scientists argue that Dr. Kroich has overstated his expansive claims for the therapeutic promise of his work, that his laboratory is focused more on churning out papers and carefully assessing his experimental data. Dude, I don't know. Nowadays, it's like you really have to be careful what people are coming out with. Like even the scientific community, the medical community and stuff like that, because you guys know who Elizabeth Holmes is? If you don't know who Elizabeth Holmes is, look that person up, because that person is also another very fucking interesting person, but not interesting in a good way. Interesting in like a very like disgusting like way. But I think there's like TV shows and a movie that's already been made about her. And yeah, I don't know. That person is fucking wild as well. Her voice. Oh man, wait. Okay, do you guys care if we just like hold on? You said her voice creeps you out, but now I have to show everyone else her voice. Okay.
Over the last 11 years, we've reinvented the traditional laboratory infrastructure. And we talked to our lab team and they said, okay, you can do the draw. And so they did this, what would have been a finger stick on this little nub on his arm. Sure, yeah. Over the last 11 years, we've reinvented the traditional.
So she was a Steve Jobs wannabe. She wanted to be like the pioneer of like the medical community. And that's why you guys notice what she's wearing. She's wearing the black turtleneck because that's how badly she wanted to be like Steve Jobs. And so she also wanted to change her voice as well to make it deeper. Whole mess with this person. Although, what happened to her though? Let me see. Let me look up. She was like, there was some news that came out about her recently, didn't it? Elizabeth Holmes, what happened? Okay, yeah, she was found guilty of 4 counts of fraud. So Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of the failed blood testing startup Theranos, was guilty of 4 of 11 charges of fraud on Monday. When was that? July 8, 2022. Wait, that was like a month ago. Holy shit. You send in your blood samples in, and based on that, you're able to find out like all this information from your blood. And she was like making all these promises, all these hospitals and all these other like research facilities or whatever. They were like sending her like blood stuff, and they were just like not churning out the fucking technology that they were promising. So what they were doing is they were using old technology that was already present to give like, you know, the hospitals and stuff their the blood sample information and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. Like the people working there were like, dude, like what the fuck are we doing here? And they're just like, hey, it's okay, it's okay. Just keep your head down, you know, just keep your head down. But there were whistleblowers who came out and were like, yo, what the fuck? Like Theranos is running some bullshit. And yeah, they're getting all this investment money and they don't have what they're promising the public. So yeah. Her old voice sounds fine. Her old voice is deep enough. I mean, I have like a pretty like higher like tone voice, but like I think her voice is fine.
Came in asking if they could do a finger stick, and our team in Arizona called us. And
yeah, it has like a nice little like deepness to it. Like I think it sounded fine, but you know, I guess like she really wanted to be taken seriously, and she thought if my voice was deep like this, people would take me seriously and invest lots of money. But I mean, they did, I guess. So it worked. It worked, I guess. Okay, so back to this doctor. La 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 la. Okay. Over the last several years, Dr. Krish has been fending off a tide of allegations of data falsification and other scientific and misconduct, according to federal and state records, whistleblower complaints, and correspondence with the scientific journals obtained by New York Times. In 2013, an anonymous critic contacted Ohio State and the federal authorities with the allegation of falsified data in more than 30 of Dr. Krish's paper. Since 2014, another critic, David A. Sanders, a virologist who teaches at Purdue University, has made claims of falsified data and plagiarism directly to scientific journals where more than 20 of Dr. Krish's paper has been published. It's a reckless disregard of the truth. So this never went to trial. I don't think we ever found out like in the court of law if all this was true or not. But yeah, they dismissed it and said, you know, you weren't defamed. Damn, he money rich. He got all his like Italian art collection in his home. Sheesh. 6 Circuit sides the New York Times in the defamation suit. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. An article in the New York Times about controversy surrounding an Ohio State University cancer researcher was not defamatory because reasonable readers understand it was a standard piece of investigative journalism that presented both sides of the story. One second. Do we get there? I want to see their decision details. The unanimous 3-judge panel affirmed the federal trial court in Columbus that dismissed Dr. Carlo Crocious defamation lawsuit against the Times. The panel held the article was not defamatory. The article's discussion of errors in Crocious' research paper was substantially true, and that Crocious' related claims for false light, intentional infliction of emotional distress also failed. The ruling solidifies legal protections for balanced news reports about controversial people and issues by recognizing that when a report presents the position of both sides of the conflict, reasonable members of the audience do not interpret as damaging the reputation of the individual involved in the dispute. Krish has sued over 2017 front page Time article, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know. So the reason why I wanted to look some of like the top cases that her new attorneys are worked on in the past, I just want to see if they like anything close to what's going on right now. But like I said, like the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp defamation trial, it's not just like a plain Jane defamation trial. It's like heavily nuanced with like, you know, abuse alleged on both sides and all that shit. And yeah, it's so much more than just like, oh yeah, you defamed me in a New York Times article. It's like so much more than a lot.